Humans have been around for about 250,000 years on Earth, but we only began recording our stories through writing about 5,500 years ago. That means nearly 98% of our past exists beyond the reach of written history. And even within that tiny fraction, many records have been lost, destroyed, and altered. The burning of the Library of Alexandria alone may have erased knowledge that could have completely changed our understanding of the lost ancient world. But sometimes, archaeologists make a discovery that doesn't just fill in a missing piece of the puzzle. It shatters the entire picture. And today, you will witness exactly that. So, let's begin with number 15, the ancient iridium death mask well. Gold treasures, lost cities, and shipwrecks have given birth to countless legends over the centuries. Sometimes, though, an artifact appears that seems completely out of place. This mysterious mask is one of them. It was found in Florida, and this object has attracted attention not because of how it looks, but because of what researchers claim it is made from. According to some accounts, the mask consists largely of iridium, an extremely rare metal that is far more common in meteorites than on Earth. That detail alone would be enough to spark controversy. Then, investigators noticed something else. Engraved on its surface is an image resembling Viracocha, the legendary creator deity linked with ancient Andean traditions. Stories surrounding the artifact only make the mystery deeper. Historical accounts suggest it may have once formed part of a valuable treasure cargo lost when a Spanish ship vanished beneath the sea centuries ago. So, is this pre-Inca Peruvian death mask from 12,000 BC real? Are we missing something? Number 14, the long-lost city of giants. If you've ever read ancient legends or watched fantasy movies, you already know one thing. Giants are rarely remembered as the good guys. They're usually portrayed as powerful beings from a forgotten age, existing somewhere between history and myth. That's exactly why a discovery made in Ecuador grabbed so much attention. Back in 2012, explorers deep in the country's dense jungle came across a huge stone structure unlike anything expected in the region. Measuring roughly 260 feet in height and width, the site was built from massive stone blocks weighing close to 2 tons each. Its sheer size instantly raised questions. Researcher Bruce Fenton later referred to it as the Lost City of Giants. Not only because of the gigantic structure itself, but also due to oversized stone tools discovered nearby and local stories describing colossal human-like beings. Several stones contain perfectly shaped circular holes, while the overall layout looks deliberately constructed. So, is it a natural formation or evidence of a forgotten civilization? More than a decade later, the answer is still frustratingly out of reach. Number 13, Arkaim. The Russian Stonehenge. How do you lose an entire city? Not a village, but a super-advanced circular city complete with defenses, planned streets, sophisticated engineering, and astronomical knowledge. But that is exactly what the fate of Arkaim was. Hidden for thousands of years in Russia's southern Ural region, the site remained unknown until its discovery shocked archaeologists in the late 20th century. Dating back roughly 4,000 years, Arkaim was built with an astonishing level of organization. 2 massive circular walls surrounded dozens of dwellings arranged in a precise pattern around the center of the settlement. The city even contained advanced drainage systems and evidence of metallurgical activity. What truly captured researchers, however, was its apparent alignment with celestial events. Certain features seem carefully positioned to track the movements of the sun and stars, earning Arkaim the nickname Russia's Stonehenge. Then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, the city was abandoned. As of now, no one in this world knows exactly why the people left, where they went, or what secrets vanished with them. Number 12. The ancient plastered human skulls. Most people imagine ancient art as statues, cave paintings, or carved stone monuments. Very few expect one of humanity's earliest artistic experiments to involve actual human heads. Yet that is exactly what archaeologists uncovered near the ancient city of Jericho. Dating back roughly 9,000 years to around 7,000 BC, these remarkable skulls belong to some of the oldest known examples of human portraiture ever discovered. After death, the skulls were carefully modified. Jawbones were removed, facial features were rebuilt using plaster, and seashells were inserted where eyes once existed. The result was something both fascinating and unsettling, a face that seemed to stare back across thousands of years. Excavations led by John Garstang and later Kathleen Kenyon revealed that many of these skulls had been buried beneath the floors of homes rather than in traditional graves. Signs of wear suggest they were handled repeatedly, perhaps displayed during ceremonies or kept as treasured objects. Whether they represented beloved ancestors, spiritual guardians, or something entirely different remains unknown. Number 11. The mysterious Pyramid of Java. What if the world's oldest pyramid has been sitting in plain sight for thousands of years, disguised as a hill? That possibility has fueled one of archaeology's most heated debates. Hidden in the highlands of West Java, Gunung Padang appears at first to be an ordinary volcanic ridge. Climb its 370 stone steps, however, and a different picture begins to emerge. The site contains 5 massive terraces built from thousands of basalt columns, some weighing more than 1,900 pounds each. In 2011, geologist Danny Hillman Natawijaja and his team began investigating what lay beneath the surface. Core samples, seismic surveys, and ground-penetrating radar suggested that the visible structure was only the outer layer of something much larger. Researchers identified hidden chambers, buried walls, and deeper construction phases that may stretch back thousands of years. Some controversial estimates even place parts of the structure at over 20,000 years old. If correct, Gunung Padang would force historians to completely rethink the timeline of civilization itself. It's just unbelievable. Number 10. The Anunnaki metropolis in Africa? What if an entire city existed before recorded history, before agriculture, and before the first civilizations were taught about in school? That is the bizarre claim surrounding a vast collection of stone ruins near Maputo, Mozambique. To most, the site looks to be little more than scattered circles of weathered stone. But researchers Michael Tellinger and Johan Heine believe they are looking at something far more extraordinary. According to their controversial theory, these ruins could be the remains of a 200,000-year-old metropolis connected to an advanced gold mining civilization and the ancient Anunnaki legends. Yes, 200,000 years old. Unsurprisingly, mainstream archaeologists reject the idea outright, arguing that it contradicts everything known about early human development. Still, the ruins themselves are real. Aerial surveys reveal networks resembling roads, agricultural layouts, and thousands of circular structures stretching across the landscape. Ancient mining activity has also been documented in the region. Whether this is evidence of a forgotten civilization or an elaborate misinterpretation is still hotly debated. Number 9. The toy boat. From Norway's medieval well, children have always played with toys. It does not matter whether they lived in a modern city or a medieval village nearly 1,000 years ago. That simple fact makes one discovery from Norway surprisingly powerful. In 2016, archaeologists excavating an old well in central Norway uncovered a small wooden boat hidden beneath centuries of debris. The object had survived at the bottom of the well for almost 900 years. Experts from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology believe it dates to around 1153 AD. What makes the find remarkable is the care that went into its construction. This was not a rough piece of scrap wood shaped in a few minutes. The boat was carefully carved and appears to have once supported a mast, suggesting it was designed to resemble a real sailing vessel. During the Middle Ages, ships represented wealth, exploration, and status. For a child, owning such a realistic model would have been something special. But the greatest mystery is how it ended up at the bottom of a sealed well. Number 8. Labok Cibaduyut pyramid. Finding a forgotten pyramid in the middle of a jungle would be surprising enough. Finding one that almost no one talks about is even stranger. On the hills of West Java, the Labok Cibaduyut pyramid remains one of the country's least known archaeological mysteries. Reaching the site requires crossing dense vegetation and steep terrain, which has helped keep it isolated from large-scale tourism and research. Rising from the landscape are multiple stone terraces arranged in a stepped formation, remarkably similar to ancient pyramids found elsewhere in the world. Massive stone slabs connect the levels, while carefully positioned blocks suggest deliberate construction rather than natural formation. Mainstream estimates place the site at roughly 2,000 years old, though some researchers argue it may be considerably older. The real mystery lies in its strange resemblance to other megalithic structures scattered across distant continents. Why would cultures separated by miles and oceans make such similar designs? Number 7. The Screaming Figurine of Dartmoor in 2022. A strange artifact emerged from the muddy ground near a stream in Dartmoor and immediately sparked speculation. The small handcrafted figurine featured a scary face with a wide-open mouth that looked frozen in the middle of a scream. Before long, locals had given it a fitting nickname, the Screaming Figurine. Experts quickly began debating its purpose. Some said it may have been a pilgrim's token carried for protection or devotion during the medieval period. Others pointed toward a far darker possibility, proposing that it could have been a witch's puppet used in sympathetic magic rituals. But it appeared to have been deliberately buried, partially hidden beneath soft earth. Why? An odd inscription on the back remains untranslated and doesn't match any recognized language. Historians continue searching for answers, but one thing is certain. For such a small object, it leaves an unusually disturbing impression. Number 6. Petroglyph of the solar eclipse. Long before telescopes, satellites, and modern astronomy, people were already watching the sky with extraordinary attention. One carving hidden among the cliffs of Chaco Canyon may prove just how closely they were paying attention. The ancient petroglyph appears simple at first glance. A circular shape sits at its center, surrounded by unusual curved rays extending outward. To many visitors, it looks like just another piece of rock art. To some researchers, however, it may represent one of the most dramatic celestial events ever witnessed in North America. On July 11, 1097, a total solar eclipse passed across parts of the region. Several archaeologists have suggested that the carving may be a record of that exact event. The theory gained attention because the unusual rays resemble the solar corona visible during a total eclipse, a feature often illustrated by astronomers centuries later. The ancestral Puebloans were already known for tracking astronomical events. Nearby structures and carvings reveal clear connections to solstices and seasonal cycles. So, does this petroglyph actually record a solar eclipse? Number 5. Black Chinchorro child mummy. When people think about mummies, Egypt usually comes to mind. History, however, tells a very different story. Thousands of years before the first Egyptian pharaohs ruled the Nile, a culture living along the coast of present-day Chile was already mastering the art of preserving the dead. Known as the Chinchorro, these people developed some of the earliest mummification techniques ever discovered. One of the rarest examples is the Black Chinchorro child mummy. The process was very complex. The body was carefully taken apart, organs removed, skin separated, and bones treated before everything was reconstructed using sticks, clay, and other materials. Finally, the entire figure was covered in a dark manganese-based coating, creating the striking black appearance that gives the technique its name. The result feels less like a burial and more like a carefully crafted work of art. These remains forced archaeologists to rethink the origins of mummification entirely, and it's just pretty insane. Alright, now, let's move to Number 4. Candi Kethu. High on the slopes of Mount Lawu sits a structure that seems completely out of place. Known as Candi Kethu, or the Monkey Temple, This site looks less like a traditional temple and more like a forgotten step pyramid hidden in the clouds. Standing more than 4,500 feet above sea level, it occupies a rugged volcanic landscape surrounded by thick forests and steep mountain terrain. What makes the site unusual is its design. Most ancient Javanese temples feature tall stone towers covered with intricate carvings. Candi Kethu follows a very different blueprint. Its ascending terraces and pyramid-like shape resemble structures found in entirely different parts of the world. Because research at the site remains limited, historians still know surprisingly little about who built it or why. Local legends surround the mountain, adding another layer of intrigue to an already mysterious location. The higher researchers climb into Indonesia's volcanic highlands, the more it seems they are uncovering fragments of a forgotten chapter of history. Number 3. The Egtved Girl archaeologists expected to find a Bronze Age skeleton, but what they found was a mystery. Discovered in Denmark in 1921, the Egtved Girl had been buried inside a hollowed-out oak coffin more than 3,000 years ago. Yet when researchers opened the grave, something strange stood out immediately. Her bones had almost completely disappeared. All that remained were her hair, nails, teeth, and remarkably preserved clothing. Then the mystery deepened. Buried beside her were the cremated remains of a child around 5 or 6 years old. For decades, historians believed the young woman was a local priestess connected to a Scandinavian sun cult, partly because of the elaborate bronze belt she wore. Modern science changed that story completely. By analyzing isotopes preserved in her remains, researchers discovered she wasn't even from Denmark. She had spent much of her life hundreds of miles away in Germany's Black Forest region. Suddenly, experts began considering a different possibility. She may have traveled across Europe as part of a powerful political alliance. More than 3,000 years later, her journey continues to rewrite what we thought we knew about Bronze Age society. Number 2. Candi Sukuh. How does a temple built in Indonesia end up looking super similar to pyramids found thousands of miles away in Central America? That question has puzzled researchers for years. Sitting on the slopes of Mount Lawu, Candi Sukuh is unlike almost every other ancient temple in Java. Most temples from the region feature huge structures covered in intricate carvings. Candi Sukuh does the exact opposite. Its design looks like a stepped pyramid, complete with ascending terraces and a shape that many people compare to Mayan monuments. The similarities become even harder to ignore when certain carvings and symbolic motifs are placed side by side with examples from distant civilizations. Historians generally view this as a coincidence, but others see something more intriguing. Was this simply a case of different cultures arriving at the same ideas, or could traces of a forgotten connection still be hiding in plain sight? Whatever the explanation, Candi Sukuh remains one of Indonesia's most unusual archaeological mysteries. Number 1. The singing statues of Amenhotep III statues aren't supposed to sing. That's what made this mystery so weird. For more than 3,400 years, the colossi of Memnon have stood near Luxor, Egypt. These enormous stone figures once guarded the mortuary temple of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. Today, the temple is mostly gone, but the statues remain. Then, something unusual happened. After a powerful earthquake struck the region in 27 BC, visitors began reporting strange sounds coming from one of the statues at sunrise. Ancient writers, including Strabo and Pliny the Elder, described hearing whistles, hums, and tones that seemed to emerge from the stone itself. Word spread quickly across the Roman world. Travelers journeyed long distances just to hear the mysterious sound for themselves. Various explanations were proposed. Some believed the statue was speaking. Others thought the sounds came from cracks inside the stone, reacting to changes in temperature each morning. Whatever caused it, the phenomenon ended after Roman repairs were made to the damaged statue. The repairs survived, but not the singing at the cause. Well, that's all from us. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.